Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm gonna explore the concepts of webhooks. Now I'm not a programmer and I guess you guys are not as well since you're using this no-code kind of platform. So we'll explore this together and I'll try to explain as best as I can on how to use webhooks and their use cases. Let's start as always with a new scenario. Let's name it webhooks. Always name your scenarios as it's easier to deal with them later on to know and track how much scenarios you have. So webhooks are these nodes. They are built in. We have mailhook, we have webhook, and we have webhook response. So I'm gonna explain more about webhook today. Mailhook is more towards mail. So triggers when a mailhook receives data, triggers when a webhook receives data. So it's instant, which is very useful. So it's always working. So it doesn't have a trigger to work every couple of hours or so. It triggers instantly when the webhook is called. So first thing is you have to create a new webhook, and it's simple. You name your webhook. Let's name it webhook 1. Let's save. So this is the main URL that you should be copying and you should be using. You said okay. So now we have created the webhook. We can go to a URL, type it, and you say there's no scenario listening for this webhook. So let's then activate the scenario. So now the scenario is listening, it's ready. So when the webhook is called, it should call it. It says accepted. And we go here and we say yes, we have something, but it's empty. Okay, let's now rerun this webhook and try to pass something in here. Let's try to pass hello. As you can see here, we have a entry called hello. So let's try hello. Let's try username equals to James. Let's listen to the URL and trigger it. Then we have a username James. So let's create as always a variable var1, and let's have the username. So as you can see, we've passed through the URL a variable called username. Now what happens if I just write James after 13? I like to test things, so let's test that. It says not found. Okay, and it's still running. So you always, as a rule, when you have a webhook, you always have to put a question mark, and then after the question mark starts the variable. Okay, so variable, let's say, as we said, username. Then you have to say equal, and then what is the value of that username? So James. And once we hit enter, there you go. Now we have a var1 equal James. So as you can see, we accessed this webhook through the URL. It was already running. It's always instant. So whenever this is called, the webhook will be triggered. Now let's try to send a response. So we saw that there is a webhook response. Okay, so in case 200, so 200, so in case everything is, the status is what is good, what should be the body? Let's say James says hi. Okay, let's hear again. Let's run this. There you go. Now we have an answer, right? We have an answer. So so this is the status. If the status is 200, the reply would be James says hi. Okay. Now, what if let's try to change the username, say, let's say Mike. It always says James says hi. So what I want is for it to be conditional. So whatever the variable is, right? Whatever the variable is here, to change the, we can delete this, no, because we don't need that. Let's save. So this should be the username. So that's a variable. Whatever the username is passed, change it to the actual name. Okay, so now we have Mike. Mike says hi. So now it's dynamic to whatever we send it to be. So as you can see, this is the power of Webhook. One of its main powers is, first, it's instant. So once I activate this, it will always wait for a signal for when the webhook is triggered. Now this webhook, this URL, you can put it on a button. So whenever a button is pressed, call this webhook. You can send data to it via the queries here in the URL. You can put now here, if you want to add more, you can say sorry, keyboard is, you can say and email equal Mike at gmail.com. So if we say yes, and let's go. So Mike says yes, but here we see we have an email as well, right? And his email is right. So now if we listen, there you go. So it's very dynamic. It's always instant. Make gives you this webhook URL, so you can use it. You can use it in your WordPress websites. You can use it in your forms. You can use it anywhere. You can use it even if on your mobile app development. If you use tools like Thunkable or Bubble, you can use it everywhere. You can have Make as the backend that works everything in terms of processes, and you can have these tools that I mentioned as front end towards everything that is visible to the client, and have Make create everything for you behind the scenes. So today we explored webhooks. Webhooks are quite interesting. I encourage you to use them. They are very powerful. They're instant. They're robust. So I encourage you to use them in your future scenarios. All right. So that wraps up for this tutorial on webhooks. I hope you guys found this lesson easy. I try to make the lessons as short as possible and as easy as possible, lay out the information directly. As always, I will leave some links in the description box below that you might find useful. Make sure to check that out, and if you like this tutorial, give it a like, subscribe for more videos. I hope you guys are enjoying those videos, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.